Okay, ito nyo. Sanita. Nisto Ixocapi. I'm doing good. One of the reasons why I want to hop on the radio again is because we're in remote learning for the Browning Public Schools, on the reservation. And I go live but at the same time through our BNAS Browning Schools. So if you have cousins off the res, let them know. And part of it too is say Chimoishkan eat tuto. Prayer is important and powerful. And kistunon pikani. Us pikani. We're a prayerful people. We really are. And it's a good thing to come on these radio waves and to share our ancestral voice with the people. Because this is your language, our language. Our language. And because of the times we live in, it is very pertinent to offer joy and good vibes and prayers to the people. So please join me. Okay. I wish you bad to be up. Oh, spumita pigs, not tweet pigs. Ayoh, to kinan. Anochis kanan. I wish you bad to be up. Spumosa. Kanata pium. Spumosa kita pigs. Kipu keks. Mistä pskuus, tunatkuuksen, se pumma. Kimmessä maama tapi, tsystummia. Mahkissamme päätä piissa. I wish you päätä piu. No tuistutuussa, kanäätä piannun, siksi keitsitä pesksaa. No tuistutuussa, niin sitä piimun nuuniksi. Nennan, miksestään. Kuusen. Kumotan. Again. So let's say that again. This time I'll, usually I'm kind of hesitant to translate Nitsi when it's in a prayer. Because it's that's just the brilliance of our language is that some of it is lost in translation and that a lot of that heart. However, I also recognize the position we're in, and it's not our fault. It's no one's fault that you don't know how to speak. It's not your fault. Please don't feel guilty. So I will translate it because my heart and my attempt is that you at least learn a bit of this. So I wish you back, you. Oh, source of life. I was meet the pigs, not to eat the pigs. Oh, celestial beings and holy beings. Ayohtukinan. Here is on this day. Spumukinan. Kanatipi anon sixigate kika. Nog spumukinan umpakitapi. Kipu keks. Help our elders and our children. We stop schools chase away this pandemic, this extreme sickness. Say, boom. And that negativity. Not tuistutuussa ni tsitapimanonix. Bless our families. Ninnan, our fathers. Nixistan, our mothers. Naachsun, our grandparents. Ginuchgosun, and our children. Spumosau, or Gimmisau. Mama tapi dummy. Pity those who are sick. And give them a long life. Again for survival and amen. Go damapio. Ma akites bumo. It is an honorable commitment to help others. Ikut damapio. Ma akites bumo. Again, akutumapio. Ma akites bumo. It is an honorable commitment to help others. And it is. Because you can even ask Creator, Nakspumo can help us. So that we help one another. Help us so that we help one another. Kimmo kinan. Pity us. So that we may pity each other. And our word for pity, it's not this English concept of pity. It's that indigenous concept. The word pity is related to the word kindness. Show kindness to those. And our word for pitiful could translate also to one who needs kindness directed at them. And what I really like too is apparently one of the interpretations we have for the word for poverty is gimatapopia, meaning they're sitting around pitiful, meaning they're sitting around needing kindness. And that's really what poverty is. It's the lack of care from somewhere, something. Obviously, for us, that lack of care is rooted in capitalism and greed. And all it takes is just a little bit of empathy and care, and we can solve poverty, But it's not our, it's our fight, but it's also not necessarily our burden. It's the burden of the rich folk to give. But I don't know if I'd call it a burden as much as it's an opportunity. Because in our old way, the leaders, they gave everything. They gave their life. If you were a leader, you'd always say stuff like, I give you my life. Because our leaders were the poorest people in the tribe. Whereas in this society, this American society, our leaders are the richest people in the tribe. We didn't hoard anything. We couldn't hoard anything. What good would it be to hold on to everything when you just live in a lodge and you have everything you need? And that's the way our economy supported it. It supported generosity. You go out and you hunt, and you didn't hunt and kill a deer and keep the whole deer. First of all, you didn't have a deep freezer. The meat would go bad if you tried to keep it all. But also, too, it's that the way that wealth was distributed, you didn't have to worry. The community took care of the community. People always stepped up. And that's what a good relationship is. When someone else is down, you rise above your normal workload. And if you're down, that other individual rises and helps you out. That's what relationships are. It's every day you may not have the same duties or labor, but there's that balance that community gives and you give. And that's what I like about Pikani. We still have those remnants around. We still help one another out. Because ikut tama ma akites pumuwaw. Tis an honorable commitment to live a life of helping. That's who we are. We're helpful people. One thing I want to say is we are in uncertain times in our community, and I know it's this might be it's really easy for me to do this on the radio, but I do want to give them for all the people that we have lost, because losing someone is an event that will carry with you for the rest of your life. And I do hope and pray that we see those individuals again. One thing that I always think of is that, is heaven real? I do not know. And I'm not, I would never, I don't know. But I do know one thing. Nam exist, my late mother, wherever she is, that place is heaven. You know? When I have dreams of her and I get to hug her, that's heaven. I think of my good cousin, the captain, who was on these radio waves and was one of the pioneers of Blackfeet radio. I think of him and I've had dreams of him, and man, when I have those dreams, I'm in heaven. So if we can have a moment of silence for the people who have lost their loved ones. Okay, let's go over some words now. First of all, thank you. What you have done makes me feel good. So we're just gonna go through some basic vocabulary, some vocabulary I think I have neglected to go over on this radio show. Man, ninno. And say it after I say it. There's no way I could be confirmed that you're doing this, but just do it. So again, when you say man, ninna. Ninna. Woman. Ki. 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 Boy. Sakkumapio. 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 Girl. Kikowan. 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 Me. Ni sto. So, ni sto, myself. Ni sto. You, yourself, gisto. And then him or herself, ostoy. Ostoy. My teepee. So, okay, really quick. Lodge is muyes. Muyes. A teepee is the original lodge. Ni doyes. Ni doyes. Like, ni dukska. Right? Ni titapi. Ni dukska. One. And then ni doyes. The original lodge. Ni doyes. My teepee. Ni doyes. Ni doyes. My life, ni patapisen, ni patapisen. My life, ki patapisen. Your life, my home, no go on, no go on. My belly, my belly is no go on, no go on, no go on, no go on. So this difference between it's kind of like the difference between convict and convict, where that stress is just in a different place. So no go on is my home, where the emphasis is in the first vowel. Okay. Again, so then that would be like gini tuyas would be your teepee, but then gituyas would be your lodge. Okay, traditionally, back in the old days, we called ourselves Salkitapi. So the way you say person is Matapi. And the reason why Matapi exists is because we're all mutts. I'm joking, but Matapi, person. And then see, way back is Skochtik, Nitsinskats, Salkitapi. In the past, we called ourselves the Salkitapi, the prairie people. Salkitapi. Salkitapi. Siksikaitsitapi is anybody who's a part of the Blackfoot Confederacy. You're kind of saying Blackfoot Indian, but Siksikaitsitapi. 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 A Blackfoot member of the Blackfoot Confederacy. Siksikaitsitapi. The clans of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the people who occupied Siksikaitsitapiskasahko. Siksikaitsitapi. Siksikaitsitapi. Clans of the Blackfoot Nation. Siksikaitsitapiskasahko. Blackfoot territory. Lands of the Blackfoot, traditional lands of the Blackfoot Confederacy. Siksikaitsitapiskasahko. 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 Kitoksenun, meaning clan territory as defined by our oral history. It is absolute in Iskohtak, our history. At a time of first contact with the Siksikaitsitapi occupied a territory ranging from the present-day Manitoba west over the eastern range of the Rocky Mountains to the present states of Montana, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. Kitoksenun, our territory. I've even heard the interpretation that it means where we get our food, our sustenance. Kitoksenun. Oxen means food. Kitoksenun. Niksokowa, my relative. Niksokowa, my relative. Niksokoex, my cousins. Sape tapio means the common people. Sape tapio. Common people. We are the Amskapi Pikani, the southern Pikani. Are some people will interpret Pikani so many different ways. Some people say scabby robe, some people say fancy robes, some people say, like rich robes. Some people will even say it means paints on cheek. And that's our sign for ourselves. You take a closed fist and you rub it on your cheek with your with your fingernails pointing at your face, right? That means Pikani. But Amskapi Pikani, southern Pikani, and Apatose Pikani, the northern Pikani. Apatose Pikani. Pikani could even mean poorly tanned robe. But yeah, apatosi pikani and amskapi pikani. And I want to take this moment to spread my philosophy. But it ain't just my philosophy, it's many philosophies people hold. And that is, there really is no apatosi pikani and amskapi pikani. There's only one pikani. We are all just pikani. And in my later years in life as an adult, going up to Brockett, up to Bikani, and meeting the fine individuals and the elders up there, you really learn fast, like, wow, we are just Bikani. These people are, oh, they're just the same as us. Same humor and everything, you know? So I really encourage you guys to meet and greet our Bikani relatives who are across the line, because it wasn't us who made this decision to become northern and southern. It was the policies and the decisions made by the colonizing governments of Canada and the United States. We didn't decide, oh, you guys can be north, we'll be south. No, they drew this line, and sadly, it's what happened to us. But when you really go back to Iskochtak, our history, you'll realize that there's only Bikani. Okay, then skinny Bikani is Bikani who live along the Rocky Mountain Ridge, along the mountain base. Skinny Bikani. Skinny Bikani. They're not skinny, they're skinny Bikani. Ake Bikani, meaning those ancient Bikani. You say apatotsi, nompchi da bichben. I'll say that again. Apatotsi, nompchi da bichben. We originate from the old time Bikani people. We are directly connected to those ancient peoples. There is no severed line between us and them. We still have their ancestral voices ringing in our genetic memory. And also cultural memory. As a culture, you can't deny that modern Blackfeet have a very strong culture. We do. Bikani Buksen, meaning the Bikani language. Ni Tsi Buksen means the original language. Remember? Ni Tuyis, the original lodge. Ni Tsitapi, the original people. Ni Titikin, the original shoe. Ni Tsi Buksen, the original language. I Buksen just means the talk. I-Buksen, ni Tsi-Buksen, the original talk, and Ake-Buksen, the ancient talk. And that's how you say hi, Blackfoot, is Ake-Buksen. Ake-Buksen. Again, the blood tribe, many chiefs. Again. Again. And then the Siksikaw is just the Blackfoot proper, up in Canada near Gleason. And really quick, the main communities. I'm pretty sure people in Apatuxi Bikani, they just call Brockett Bikani. So if they're going back to Brockett, ni dakito puhpanon Bikani. We are going to Bikani. In Siksikaw, the main community on that reserve is Gleason. And the word for Gleason is Isochgitse. 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 And it means the chunky or the fat. And because the first original mayor for Gleason, I guess he had a pretty big belly, but Isochgitse. And then Standoff is the main community on the Blood Reserve. And from my understanding, it's called Hitatsuki, meaning the middle. Hitatsuki. Hitatsuki. The middle. And then two good words to know is Kipitake, old woman. Kipitake. And Umpkina, old man. Umpkina. Umpkina. Kipitake. Some of you are Sinakoics, Cree, Sinau, Cree, Atsinau, Grovant, Atsinau, Isapu, the crow, Umpakisapoy, Umpakisapoy. Kika, Isapumpaksikau is how you say the word for our Siksakawa chief, Crowfoot. Isapumpaksikau. Isapumpaksikau. It means crow, Bigfoot. And apparently the way he got that name is, I guess, the crow had raided a camp of the Beak Honey. And Crowfoot was just a young, who was in his youth. And him and a couple of his friends traveled to this camp, and this ransacked camp, and they were really observing the area, and then they found these tracks of this crow. And this crow went through this a muddy area, and he had these footprints. And one thing that they really found was amazing about these footprints is that this crow left really big footprints. And they were like, "Oh, look at those footprints!" And they all put their foot in there to see, like, to see how big it was. Here, this Crowfoot put his foot in there, and his foot matched it just good. So hence they start calling it Isapumpaksikau, meaning crow Bigfoot. Isapumpaksikau. That's what we call the crow, Isapu. Osage, Gakshami Tsitapi, just meaning the sage people, sage Indians, Gakshami Tapi. The Sioux are Gaispeks, Gaiskachbeks, meaning the porcupines, or the parted hairs for how they wore their hair. Along with that, that's actually how you say the word for grass dance. And as I understand, and again I stand to be corrected, is that's actually where the grass dance, originated from the Lakota. But yeah, we call them Gaiskachbeks. The Cheyenne are the Pinto Horse people, meaning Gishchipimi. Gishchipimi is how you say pinto, spotted. Gishchipimi. The spotted horse people, or the Pinto Horse people. Gishchipimi. Gishchipimi. Kootenai. So you say Kootenai. Kootenai. I'm not too sure on the internal meaning of Kootenai. From my understanding, Kootenai refers to people who eat bland food, but I don't know. But Kootenai. Kutskipi. The flathead. Kutskipi. The flathead. Ksachkwe. The Earth Lodge people. Mandan. Ksachkwe. Meaning the Pondere, or the river people. Niichta was a river. Niichta, Gaichta, Marias River or Bear River. Yellowstone River, Elk River. Natokyoka Sichta, Two Medicine River. Asitchta, a young river or a creek. That's the old word for Browning, or this area. Asitchta. Biksiksanetapyo. Shoshone, snake people. Biksiksanetapyo. Biksiksan now is a snake. Biksiksanetapyo. Snake people. And the Saksi, I guess it's an old word referring to people of the beaver. How that works, I do not know, but I've also heard an interpretation that it means an ally. Saksi. Saksi. Yeah. And then, of course, you got your Udakshistoyi, your round beards, meaning Hutterites. So Udakshistoyi Gatbisk, meaning a Hutterite colony. And that's where many of you are from. I'm joking. It's winter now. You would say Gonsko. It means snow on the ground. Gonsko. The big snow. Snowing really big. And the good thing about that is that we tell Napi stories when the snow comes. So I'm gonna read some Napi stories to y'all. I hope that hope you enjoy it. So 1 second, let me bring it up. This comes from Clark Weston, D.C. Duvall's book, The Mythology of the Blackfoot Indians. Old Man and the Great Spirit. There was once a great spirit who was good. He made a man and a woman. Then Napi came along. No one made Napi. He always existed. The Great Spirit said to him, "Old man, have you any power?" "Yes," said Old Man, "I am very strong." "Well," said the Great Spirit, "suppose you make some mountains." So the old man set to work and made the Katoyasiks, the Sweetgrass Hills. To do this, he took a piece of Ninastako, chief mountain. He brought Ninastako up to its present location, shaped it, and named it. The other mountains were called Blood Clots, Katoyasiks. "Well," said the Great Spirit, "you are strong." "Now," said Old Man, "there are 4 of us, the man and woman, you and I." The Great Spirit said, "All right." The Great Spirit said, "I will make a big cross for you to carry." Old Man said, "No, you make another man so that he can carry it." The Great Spirit made another man. The old man carried the cross a while, but soon he got tired and wanted to go. The Great Spirit told him that he could go, but he should go out among the people and the animals and teach them how to live. Now the other men got tired of carrying the cross. He was a white man. The Great Spirit sent him off as a traveler, so he wandered on alone. The man and woman who had been created wandered off down towards Mexico, where they tried to build a mountain in order to get to the sky to be with their children. But the people got mixed up until they came to have many different languages. To me, I truly believe that story originated from people teaching neat CTP concepts from Natuispix in the Bible. And they heard these stories and then they translated them both to our language and also to be more comparable to our culture. And I believe that's where that story originated from. But Napi, he gambles. Far up in the north there's a place called Old Man's Gambling Place. The way you say that is Napi Udaksp. I believe that's how you say Napi's gambling place. Napi Udaksp. Napi Udaksp. Some people will even call it Napi's playground. There was this. There is where Napi played the game of arrows and the rolling wheel. Once, when he came to this place, he found some people playing at the game. He joined them and lost his robe and moccasins. As soon as he took them off, the robe became back fat, and the moccasin buffalo tongues. As the winter had no use for such things, he gave them back at once. Then Old Man put the tongues on his feet, and they became moccasins. And putting the back fat on his shoulders, it became a robe. So he gambled again and again, with always the same result. Okay, Napi and the Rolling Stone. So this is when Napi met Mick Jagger. I'm joking. Okay. Long ago, Napi went out with Sinopa Fox. And this Sinopa was his little brother, his chum. It was a very hot day, and when they came to a large rock, Old Man took off his robe and threw it over the rock, saying, "Ma, Niskan, here, my brother, Gitokut, Maya, I make you a present of this robe." Then Old Man, he stopped. He headed off. But presently he saw a heavy cloud coming up. So he sent his little brother, Sinopa, back to get the robe. So Sinopa went to the rock. Itanishchu told him, "Ma ochkotoki napio." He wants his robe back. "Sah," said the rock. "He gave it to me as a present. I shall keep it. You tell him he cannot have it." So the Sinopa went back to Napi and relayed what the rock had said. And Napi told him, "Niskani, go back and tell him again. Tell him I must have that robe." So Sinopa went back to Ochkotoki Itanishche. "Ma, Ochkotoki Napi sent me for his robe." And that rock replied, "Sah, rocks never give back presents. If you give anything to a rock, you cannot take it back." So the fox returned to Napi and told him what the rock had said. Now, Ma Napi, Iko Oki Takio. Napi got very angry. He said, "Now there is that rock. It has been there for years and years with nothing over it, but it refuses to let me have my robe." So he rushed up to the rock and snatched it off the robe, saying, "I need this for myself." Then Napi headed out. But presently, hearing a great noise behind him, said to Sinopa, "Niskani, you go back and see what's making all that noise." And Sinopa returned to him, saying, "We gotta hurry, for that rock is after us." When Napi looked back, he saw the rock a-coming. It was rolling along. So they both ran. But all the time, Ochkotoki was getting closer. As he went on, Old Man saw some gyayo, some bears, and called upon them for help. "Oh, Spoomokit, Spoomokit." The bears went to fight the rock, but they could do nothing, for it rolled over them and crushed them. Again, as Napi was running along, he saw some buffalo bulls and called upon them for help. Oh, Spoomonket. Ma, he said, Okadoke is chasing me. Would you stop it? So the bulls rushed upon the rock, but the rock crushed them. Then as he went on, he saw some nighthawks and bistwicks and called upon them, Spoomonket. Ma, this Okadoke is chasing me. I want you to stop it. Then the nighthawks flew down and discharged their poop at the rock. And each time they did so, pieces flew off until it was broken to pieces. Then Napi went on and finally came to the nest of the nighthawks, where there were young ones in it. Going up to the nest, he said, "Where are your parents?" "They have gone for some meat," replied the young ones. "Well," said Old Man, "I guess your parents are the ones that spoiled my fun. I was having a lot of fun with that rock that was running after me, and they spoiled it. So I'm going to tear your mouths out." So he took a hold of their bills and split their mouths back to their necks. Now, after Old Man had gone on, the nighthawks came back to feed their young ones. They said to him, "You have been eating. Where did you get that meat? And that made your mouths bloody." Then the young nighthawks told them how Napi had been there and how he had treated them. Then the nighthawks went on a pursuit of an Old Man. When they overtook him, they flew around overhead, defecating on his robe. Each time they did so, he cut off the soiled portion and threw it away. As the robe became smaller and smaller, the filth fell upon his body. At last he sought relief by plunging in the river. And that is the way he lost his robe. I guess he wasn't meant to have that robe after giving it away. You know? Anyways, 9 o'clock. I got other businesses to take care of, like chopping wood and doing some more work. I just want to thank you for tuning in. Res Radio is such a marvelous thing because it is our voice. And when you have a voice, you can express your sovereignty. And our radio has been a filter, if you will, for our sovereignty. We have our chairman come on here, our local priests and religious leaders come on here and give prayers. We've had governors and state representatives come on this radio to address the Piikani. And when on any reservation out there, in any Indian community, you're always going to have some person who's going to go, "You know what? I think our language should be on that radio." Whether or not it's being taught, it's good just to hear it spoken, you know? And again, ikuatamapi ma akitespumoa. It is an honorable commitment to help others. And one of those commitments I made is to come on the radio during this pandemic and offer what I know. I don't know much. I really don't. My knowledge is that of a young child compared to all these brilliant 8C, these Blackfoot fluent speakers. But it's through their help and guidance that boys that I can speak. The one other thing I will do, I know I said I'll leave, but yesterday was, as we know, was Veterans Day. And one thing about the Piikani is that we have a strong tradition of creating very powerful veterans, and we have, I believe, the highest rate of veterans per cap in the nation. So I want to say the Pledge of Allegiance in Blackfoot. Really quick little history of how I came upon these words is back in, I believe, 2014. I was working with one of our celebrated elders, Satistach Satistach Bestayaki, Ma, Diana Bird, and she went and asked Ma Estosupo, Earl Operson, for his interpretation of the Pledge of Allegiance. And she came back and shared those words with me. I'll forever be grateful for that. So here it is. Ok. Tikakyu sata istsax kdam unknown. Kennis tkowa be manaschipois kitse be unknown dukska yohkowan. It's stachte boya bit ischipa be. My dad's tube, ne dano ka bixi. O kianis tkoa be sana be bishi. Kamotana be tapship. Kana be. Ok, genai. Kita kinamat chips at doch. I will speak. I will be hopping on the radio tomorrow at the same time. Hopefully you don't get too sick of my voice, and you on the YouTube don't get too sick of my face. I promise. Maybe I'll comb my hair next time. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Tune in and find out. With that being said, I love you. And you're in my prayers. These are tough times we're going through. Very uncertain times, but one thing we are certain of, our culture is important. Ok, again.